Good morning, New York. Oh, let's try that again. Good morning, New York. That's much better. Listen, before we get this started, how about the world-famous Roots? How about a great round of applause, huh? Now, if you watched Jimmy Fallon, you knew this band, and they were a great band, huh? I'll do it again. Give them another round of applause. Why not, right? Yeah, excellent. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to our Salesforce World Tour here in New York. For those of you who have been in Connections for the last couple days, we want to say thank you for attending. We heard it was a knockout event. Connections is the largest digital marketing event in the world. It's incredible. And so those of you who have attended over the last couple days, again, thanks for joining us. And over the last 3 days, we've had over 20,000 people attend this conference. So thank you for listening to us evangelize our message. And hopefully, we'll have a great 90-minute show here for you as we move forward. So I love New York. This is, without a doubt for me, one of the greatest, if not the greatest cities in the world. How many people are actually from the New York area? Could you just raise your hands? You can applaud yourselves. It's okay. It's what New York people do. Oh, you quickly put your hands down, though. That was a trick. Anyway, we are doing this world tour. And we've done this all over the world. Next week, actually, we'll be hitting Paris, and the week after that, we'll be doing Munich. I had the privilege and opportunity and honor to do this last year. And as I said, I just love it here. And this is really an opportunity for us at Salesforce to bring a little bit of Dreamforce on the road. So for those of you who don't know what Dreamforce is this incredible event, the largest technology conference of its kind in the world. We just had it in November. It feels like just a few weeks ago, actually. And pretty soon, in just a short couple months, in September, we'll have it again. But 150,000 people registered for Dreamforce last year in San Francisco, which is incredible. And it's not just a technology conference, and it's not just a happening. It is really a celebration of customer success, the best customers in the world. So hopefully, over the next 90 minutes, we're going to give you the opportunity to experience a little bit of Dreamforce in our messaging. And we hope to energize you. We hope to inspire you. And we hope to motivate you, all about customer success. Because at the end of the day, it's all about customer success, and we're going to share our thoughts and our vision and our mission and our charter all around the customer success platform. But before we get into this, probably the most important thing that we can do is to say thank you. You know, Salesforce has been on a great run. We just celebrated our 16th anniversary, hard to believe, and we recently just broke into the Fortune 500. You can applaud. That's okay. That's because of you. But the reason why we have had this success, the reason why we've been on this incredible run and this incredible journey is because of you, the customer, and everything that you have done to inspire us and energize us and motivate us and give us feedback and drive our vision and drive our charter about customer success. So on behalf of the corporation, could we please give the best customers in the world, represented in the great city of New York, a huge round of applause, please. Now, I also want to recognize a special group of people. They're seated over here, and they are our MVPs. These are evangelists of our charter, our mission. They are incredible people. They are certified architects. They're incredibly knowledgeable. They help our customers drive adoption, drive innovation, drive transformation. If you're an MVP at Salesforce, could you please stand up and be recognized? How about a round of applause as well? MVPs, thank you. You're definitely enjoying this. This is your moment. Okay, thank you very much. Now, when we do these tours, we like to give back a little bit to the audience. Again, the customer base here is just unbelievable. And we try to bring in a little bit of a local flavor. So we're here in New York, and you know there are so many choices in terms of bringing back people that you would recognize or know. So you know there's so many choices, and this was a difficult choice, but not really. So we thought, who could we possibly bring to New York? Well, I think you might know this person. Some people would say he's a great leader. Some people would say he is an incredible athlete. Some people would say he's one of the greatest baseball players of all time. Many people would say that he is one of the greatest people to don the pinstripes of the New York Yankees. And I would tell you he is the greatest shortstop ever, Mr. Derek Jeter.
All I do is win, win, win. First of all, I paid Keith to say that because he's from Boston, and he just spent 30 minutes in the back telling me how big of a Red Sox fan he was.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
I know.
All right. Well, we're done. See you. Anyway, thanks for doing this. We know you're busy with your time.
No, thanks for having me.
And that was all heartfelt, hard enough for me to say. I mean, I do want to say this one question. I have to get it off my chest since you brought it up. Since you said, I'm a lifelong Boston Red Sox fan, I'm sure in 1 minute of your career, I'm sure you wanted to be a Red Sox. I know I certainly dreamt about it my whole career. Well, sort of. You know what I'm talking about.
Do I have to answer that?
No, you don't have to
answer that question.
Not in front of these people. Anyway, you had an incredible career. I mean, a storied career. I mean, when you look back on that career, I mean, what are some of the highlights? What are the things that come to mind for you?
There's a lot. I'm sorry. I'm very intimidated right now. I've never been in this situation with the lasers and the glow sticks and all that.
But you have played at Fenway Park, so it can't be that bad.
Yes, it's similar to Fenway Park.
Right.
But, my career I've been extremely fortunate. I was born in New Jersey. I grew up in Michigan. I was a huge Yankee fan. It's the only team I've ever wanted to play for, and I was one of the fortunate guys to be able to play my entire career with one team. So it's to say I've lived a dream is an understatement.
Yeah. One of the things that you're famous for, besides all of your accomplishments and your leadership in the clubhouse, is how you prepare. And I think you made a comment at some point in time about, your biggest fear was that you wanted to make sure that you were always prepared for the season. And what sort of thing goes through your head when you talk about preparing?
Yeah, my biggest fear in life is being unprepared, sort of like right now. I'm sorry, I don't know if I should spin around in a circle.
Here, I'm going to help you out.
Yeah.
Walk over here.
Yeah, we'll walk this way.
Right.
My biggest fear in life...
Okay, now we're going to walk over here.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
My biggest fear in life is being unprepared in anything. Whether it's playing a game or it's being in a business meeting or being here like I joked around. But, I take a lot of time to prepare. And I think when you're caught off guard, when you're talking about playing sports, when you're caught off guard, things pretty much speed up. And you always hear people say you want to try to slow the game down. I think preparation does that.
So winning, it's part of your DNA. I mean, your whole life you've won at something. So what's it like to be on a winning team? I mean, here at Salesforce, because we have these great customers, we feel like we're on a winning team. But what's it like to be on a winning team like the New York Yankees?
The thing with sport and business, because we're here at a business convention, they're very similar. You have teamwork, you have shared goals, you have to have the right number of people pulling in the same direction. I'm a firm believer that when you're playing a game, you can't have every single person on the same page, but if you have more people on the same page than who are not, you're going to be successful. So being a part and sharing success with a group is what playing sports is all about.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of great lessons in life, not just personal life, but obviously, professionally, as you mentioned. So I know one of your interests recently has been publishing. So can you share with the audience what you're doing with publishing and why you got interested in this?
Yeah, I've always been very, very interested in content. Even though I've chosen to keep my content as private as possible, I understand the new generation likes to share everything with everyone. So I get that. And I'm interested in people's stories and their content. So, part of the publishing imprint, they give me free reins to publish stories that I find interesting. And it sort of piggybacked into the Players Tribune, the website I started right after I retired. And we've gained a lot of traction throughout the last few months, and something I'm extremely proud of.
Well, that's very cool. Listen, I know you're very busy. Thanks for sharing your story with us and spending time with this audience, and good luck with everything that you do.
Thanks you very much. Have fun here. Thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
He had to get that Boston thing in. It's okay. It's okay. Let's talk about the New York Mets. Okay. Just kidding. All right. Let's talk a little bit about our mission. Our mission here at Salesforce. So as I mentioned before, the company was born 16 years ago. And our mission from day one was to be a cloud computing pioneer and an evangelist. And 16 years ago, we created an industry. We created a bow wave of cloud computing that many companies, even today, are trying to surf through our wake. And in the last 24 hours, some of them they've not surfed very well, but we won't get into that. Anyway, our mission has always been about cloud computing and pioneering this industry and being an evangelist for this industry. And when you really think about technology and the history of technology, you think about three ways of computing. That first wave of computing was the mainframe back in the 1960s. Hard to believe some of that technology actually exists today. And I'm sure some of you in the audience are somewhat familiar with it, but that was really born out of, if you watch this film in the last year, The Imitation Game, that technology, that concept, it was born out of that movie. And the impact on business models and society was largely, I would say, computational and transactional. And then the second wave of computing was something called the client server. And this was yet again another wave of computing that had an impact on business processes and business models with this technology, but that was largely an efficiency play. And then the third wave, our wave, the one that we created, the cloud computing model from Salesforce, was really based on three tenets. Number one, there was a new technology model. Very, very important. Number two, there was a new business model. And number three, there was a new philanthropic model. So I'm going to take you through each one of those briefly. So let's start with this new technology model. Now, this new technology model from Salesforce, our customer success platform, this is all about innovation. And from day one, it has always been about innovation. In fact, if I took a poll of everybody in this audience, you would tell me that it is all about innovation. And so the Salesforce customer success platform allows you to take a step into the future with your customers and focus on innovation, not infrastructure. You don't have to worry about data centers. You don't need to worry about data storage. You don't need to worry about servers. You don't need to worry about communications devices. You don't need to worry about plumbing and infrastructure. That is the beauty of the Salesforce Cloud. It gives you the opportunity to innovate and get out of the past and step into the future with your customers, where your customers want you to be. You know, I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to spend some time with the COO of one of the largest financial services institutions in the world, a bank that we would all know. And I asked this COO a very, very simple question. What percentage of your IT budget do you focus on innovation? And I got this look, and I'm sure you all know that look. And he said less than 10%. Less than 10% of their IT budget is focused on innovation. And I'm telling you, in this acceleration of technology, in this world that we live in, if you're not focusing on innovation, you will be disrupted. We live in a world of disrupt or be disrupted. And again, the beauty of the customer success platform is it allows you to take a step forward and focus on innovation. The second thing that it allows you to do, it allows you to adapt to your unique business. Because as much commonality as there is amongst industries and companies of all shapes and sizes, every business is a little bit unique. And in the world of on-premise legacy technology, the world of the past, there were a lot of things that were customized. Off-the-shelf software, it was customized just to tailor-make business requirements applied to technology or applied with technology. And you know, the interesting thing about that was, in a point in time, that was okay because you were addressing unique needs that were right in front of you. The big challenge with that is that it did not allow you to take a step forward into the future. Companies were weighed down with incredible complexity based on legacy technology, and they were not able to move forward. And our new technology model allows you to adapt. And leveraging a scalable metadata platform, you can move these customizations forward into the future where your customers want you to be. And of course, the last piece, the Salesforce technology model, was based on the world's most trusted cloud. And what does that mean? It means it's secure, it means it's reliable, it means it's performant. And why is that important? It's important because your customers, they live and breathe 7/24, 365 days a year. And they expect a secure relationship, a reliable relationship, and a performant relationship. So that was the new technology model that Salesforce pioneered. And then we pioneered a new business model that was focused on customer success. I like to think of this as a shared success model. Unlike, again, the legacy technology providers of today who sell you a perpetual license, which is usually an incredibly large upfront fee, and then you pay maintenance every year of 20% for very little innovation, by the way. And in that model, you own the risk as the customer. That is the shelfware model. Our new business model is completely aligned to customer success. Our subscription pricing model is completely aligned to how you adopt and deploy the technology. And that is a shared success model, very different than the old days. And oh, by the way, we have a global customer success team that wakes up every single day, and they focus on your success. These are people who are assigned to you, and they help you drive innovation. They are trusted advisors to you, and they want you to adopt. Because in the cloud, trust and adoption, that is everything. And that's what our global customer success team does. And finally, we have an incredible ecosystem of ISVs and integrators. Now, these ISVs are leveraging our platform, and they are building out both horizontal and vertical applications that allow you to innovate and take your customers forward into the future. And this is an ever-expanding ecosystem of ISVs. There are also this huge, huge network of trusted advisors. These are systems integrators. These are regional consulting firms. They understand your industry. They understand your business process. They understand our technology. And they are here to help you innovate and transform and get value out of your investment. And because of all of this in this new business model, we now have over 150,000 customers here at Salesforce, many of which are represented in this room, in this great city of New York, and some of which are represented certainly on this slide. And finally, we established a new philanthropic model. Now, we didn't establish this model 5 years into the company's history or 10 years into the company's history. We did this right at the beginning, the first day. It's part of our constitution. It's part of our fabric. It's part of our DNA. It's part of our culture. It's huge for us, huge. And in this new philanthropic model, we created something called the Salesforce Foundation. And what's interesting about this is that when you look at companies and when they are born, many companies subscribe to the model of they're in the business of being in business. At Salesforce, with our foundation, yes, we are in the business of being in business, but we're also in the business of making a difference in the world and changing the world. And that's why we created this new philanthropic model. We call it the 1-1-1 model. We give 1% of the company's time, over 920,000 service hours to date, over 1% of the equity of the company, which has translated into 85 million in grants, and over 1% of the product, over 25,000 nonprofit organizations actually are powered, their mission is powered by our technology. And we have been able to inspire a number of companies to adopt this model. Now, some of these companies up on the screen, as you can see, these are local companies, Guggenheim and General Assembly and Fundera. And some of these are new companies, like a Yelp or a Workday or a DocuSign. But there are also companies who have been around for a while, like Sage, who signed a strategic partnership with us in the UK last quarter. They have been around, and they've decided to adopt this model. So we have been able to inspire this community, and as I said before, this is something that is very, very important to us. It's part of our DNA, and it's part of our fabric. And I know there are a number of nonprofit organizations that are represented in this room. So could you please stand up and be recognized if you're with a nonprofit? Stand up. I know we have some out here. How about a round of applause for the great work that these people do? They certainly deserve it. Thank you. Okay, now, every time we do one of these tours, we take this opportunity to highlight one of these nonprofit organizations that is doing just incredible work and great work for the community. And we are very, very fortunate today to have the Robin Hood Foundation. So let's give a warm welcome to Lee Ainsley and Viam Ball, if we could. Please stand up. Good to see you. Fine. Welcome.
Thank you.
So many people here know a little bit about Robin Hood, but why don't you talk a little bit about what the charter is so that everybody knows, because it's important.
Well, I want to start by apologizing. The roots, Derek Jeter, Lee Ainsley, I'm single-handedly ruining the cool factor of the morning. So, again, my apologies. Robin has a very straightforward mission, and that is to fight poverty in New York City. To put that in perspective, in New York alone, 1.8 million people live in poverty. That's equal to the populations of San Francisco, Boston, Atlanta combined. So it's a huge issue. Robin Hood started in 1988. Since that time, we've raised $2 billion. Last year alone, we gave away $150 million to 200 organizations here in New York City that we think are the most effective and efficient organizations trying to attack the cause of poverty. Robin Hood really was a pioneer in the use of metrics in philanthropic giving. So we very carefully measure the impact of every single grant that we make. And we spend a lot of time trying to quantify the value of that impact. So I can tell you last year as an example, for every dollar we gave away, it generated $12 of benefit in our community. And the last thing I'll point out, which I think is a little bit different about Robinhood, is the fact that the board underwrites every expense, whether it's the salary and bonuses of the 86-person staff or the flowers on the table with the big benefit, the board is paying for those expenses. As a result, every single dollar that is given to Robinhood goes directly to work in the community, trying to help fellow New Yorkers in need.
That's really cool. So that's great. If I am, technology kind of plays a role here. So how do you leverage technology to connect with the community and your constituents? How does that work?
Well, I think some of the most powerful stories we have of how technology is empowering nonprofits really come from the 200 nonprofits that we partner with. Over the last 4 years, Robinhood's also supported 30 nonprofits in building customized Salesforce databases. These include soup kitchens like the Westside Campaign Against Hunger, domestic violence shelters like Sanctuary for Families, or substance abuse programs like the Jericho Project. And in essence, having a customized database allows for our grantees to have a complete and more accurate picture of who their clients are. So it means that a social worker doesn't just understand the mental health of the woman she's working with, but she also understands what's happening in that legal case. It means that when someone's helping someone find a home, they're also able to look into that database and find out whether or not that person has a job or is enrolled in a job training program. And it means that our grantees are able to constantly assess and constantly improve. And for Robinhood, that means that we can say with even greater confidence that our grantees are really delivering return on their investments.
Very cool. Very cool use of the technology. So here's the last question. There's probably a number of people who've heard what the charter was all about, even how you're leveraging the technology. How do people get involved in Robinhood if they want to?
Well, we could use your help in two ways. It's pretty simple. We could use your time, and we could use your money. I think a lot of people think, gee, they're giving away $150 million. How does $500 from me going to make a difference? Well, keep in mind, again, with the board underwriting the expenses, every single incremental dollar results in an incremental service that we can provide to our community. So that $500 gift allows us to feed a family for 2 weeks that otherwise would not be fed. And secondly, in terms of time, Robinhood doesn't just give dollars to the organizations that we support. We do a great job of making sure that we introduce these organizations to appropriate human capital. So if you're willing to devote some of your technical expertise or your legal expertise or your real estate expertise, we would love to find organizations for you to work with. We do a great job of introducing potential board members to many of our organizations. So again, the two ways I think anyone can help is be generous with your time and your money.
Very good. How about a round of applause for Robinhood? Let's get involved. Thanks very much, Lee. Thanks, Brian. Thanks very much. Excellent.